Hey, welcome back. Did you ever want to write a book about your life because you knew that your life was really interesting? Well, you're not alone. And you're certainly not alone today. We reached all the way across the pond for today's guest. My name is Vin Dacquino. Our guest today is Sonia Hicks Lynch. Sonia, what a pleasure.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, you are a very active member of the Mahopac Writers Group, and I have had the wonderful opportunity of hearing much of your writing. They haven't. So today, we want to bring Sonia to our listeners. Tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Well, I'm just a geriatric juvenile delinquent.
A geriatric juvenile delinquent.
Right.
You know, I probably agree with that.
Gee, thanks. I came to America knowing no one, no job,
Yeah,
no nothing.
difficult. Cross that pond into a new world.
Completely new. I could imagine how Henry Hudson felt,
Whoa.
but life was a little different then.
Yeah.
But
The Native Americans were a little more native.
Yes, but they were friendly.
Yeah.
And
you
my
didn't?
natives were friendly also.
Oh, that's a good thing.
So, but he didn't have to worry about passports and visas and all this sort of thing. He just came.
So, were you fairly young when you made the trip?
Well, I'd already been working in London for 7 years,
Oh, wow.
so not that young.
Yeah.
And I'd been thinking of going somewhere. I looked at Geneva, but the language was a problem. I thought of Australia, but it was an awful long way if I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I would have had to pay the fare back.
The land down under.
Yeah. So in the end, America, the language was okay. The distance was okay. And I said to my mother, if I don't like it, I'll be home by Christmas. So anyhow,
But you weren't home by Christmas.
55 years later.
Oh, my goodness.
So I still seem to be here. And 2 daughters, a divorce, a degree at SUNY Purchase in economics,
Oh.
years and years and years in accounting. And finally, I have discovered what I want to do if I ever grow up.
Don't grow up.
I want to write.
And you have. And you have produced books, several books, very interesting snippets of your life. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that. When did you actually start putting pen to paper?
In 2000, no, about 1995, about 20 years ago, something of the sort.
Yeah.
I was living upstate, and I was going to my job on a beautiful, beautiful winter morning. And there'd been an ice.
Upstate in the winter is gorgeous.
There had been an ice storm the night before, and the sun was on the trees. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I thought, I've got to put this down. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And so when I wrote it in my head, and when I got to the office, I typed it out. And I did that several mornings. And then I started writing, and I figured I'd better learn how to write. So I went to Oneonta, SUNY Oneonta, and I took an article, a course on magazine writing. And I wrote a thing about Cooperstown. And my professor said,
Beautiful place.
my piece is called The Other Cooperstown. It's everything but the Hall of Fame, where I was working.
They have wonderful museums.
And the opera at Glimmerglass.
Yes.
And the most amazing hospital where they did the first heart transplant.
Yes.
It's amazing. And so my professor said, if I were the editor, I would publish.
Wow.
So that sort of gave me encouragement. And since then, I've been writing all sorts of strange things. My Snippets was the first one, and that's a little bit of this and a little bit of that and some of the other.
So your books are called snippets.
They are all called My Snippets.
My Snippets, and yet they're different snippets.
Very different. The big one is the same as the three little ones combined.
Yeah, maybe we can catch that. There we go.
Right. The big one is the three little ones combined. And
now there's a bride and groom in there. Is that you in there?
No, that's my parents.
Oh, okay.
And the first one, though, was this one, which has color, and that has, as I said, a little of this and a little of that. But the other one is memoirs from before the war years, and after the war.
Now, is this poetry or is it?
The little one is. The first one has poetry. The other ones are just memoir and family stories, and the stories of growing up in England during the war and that sort of thing.
Which was difficult?
Well, it was different.
Yeah.
Very different. I was lucky. We were in the country. We had moved to the country. Well, that's another story. But it's in there. My father told my mother that she'd better... We were on vacation when the war was declared. Daddy went back up to London, and the following night, Mummy called him on the phone, the only phone in the village.
Oh, wow.
Finally found him at Grandma's, and she said we were coming back. And he said, no, you can't. He said, what do you mean I can't? Of course I can. I'm coming back, bringing the children. He said, no. So what do you mean? He said, well, I've taken the furniture out of the house and turned off the electricity and water. Find somewhere down there. So that's where I grew up, down there, which was up there, actually.
And did he eventually join you?
Yes, he came on weekends.
Oh, wow.
But he wasn't...
But it was dangerous, and he didn't want you there?
Yeah. He was in London during the war.
And London was getting bombed.
Exactly. So he came down on weekends. And I grew up as a country girl. And I still am a country girl.
Yeah, you are. Not to veer away, but you're into this whole vegetable things. The canning and...
you could say that.
Tell us a little bit about that, because it's a lifestyle.
Oh, it is. I was told by my doctor very seriously, no salt. Well, everything has salt.
I know. I love salt.
So I had to find some way of eating without salt. And so I go upstate every fall, and I get my veggies for the winter or for the year, and I...
Some of your best writing came from that, too.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love your writings about the gathering of the vegetables and the canning and the...
That one's called Mountainside and Apartment Homesteading.
Homesteading.
Yeah, homesteading in an apartment. Great fun. But last week I canned 22 quarts of ratatouille sauce.
22 quarts?
Of ratatouille.
Really?
Yeah, and that will last me for pretty much the year.
Yeah, wow.
But that is not being frozen. My daughter does the freezing. She freezes hers. That's the easy way to do it. But
and you don't freeze yours?
No, I lost 2 freezers full of food once. So that cured me of freezing. It's a very good lesson. Because you don't get anything back on that, because you only get the actual cost.
Really? Oh,
no labor.
Vegetables, that's not much. That's a lot of labor.
Oh, yes. But they're wonderful.
So what other things do you can?
What other things? Well, my winter veggies. About 8 different squash, potatoes, onions, tomatoes. I don't know, all the winter things.
Yeah, interesting.
But you have to pressure can them.
And you have combined this passion with your writing.
Well, I wouldn't call it a passion. People say, "Oh, you must love it." No, I don't love it.
Do it because out of necessity.
I do it because I know what I'm eating. I know where it came from. It didn't come from way down South America and then go to Japan and come back. It came straight. I got it straight from the farm, and it's. I haven't put it into book form yet,
right.
But it's written.
Now, you have some pieces that you did bring to share, though.
Yes, I certainly did. One piece is, I'll be okay, the macrame that is my life. Will my life ever get sorted out? Will I ever get caught up? There are so many threads to the braid of my life, and all should be working down evenly, but they're not. Some threads are thick and bright, textured and exciting. Some are dull and background, dependable, unexciting but necessary. Others as light as gossamer, fragile, ephemeral. Can we ever communicate our feelings to anyone else? Why do we concentrate on certain threads and not others? Why are some threads more important at one time, while at others they mean nothing? Why do threads that are important to others have no meaning for us? There are so very many wonderful things in this world to do, enjoy, make. Threads that are colorful, textured, and scintillating. Every 5 minutes we spend tells what is important to us. If we stay late at the office, study for exams, spend time at the beach, train for a marathon, or watch television and eat fancy foods and gain weight. Everything tells if our fears are stronger than our joys, our disciplines stronger than our desires. We make decisions all the time, every moment of our lives. But if we were influenced by our family settings, our physical makeup and genetics, our education, the society and time we live in, and our emotional chemistry, do we really have choice over the decisions we make? We believe we have been given free will to choose what we do. But I wonder how free that will really is. I don't like routines and corrals. Is that because I'm rebelling against my upbringing, or because I truly believe other things are more important? Or am I simply subscribing to the motive to avoid success that women of my generation were so successfully socialized into? Eventually, I will catch up with myself, 3 weeks after they have thrown the last sod and the bulldozers have been brought in and finished their work. By then, someone will have organized the threads to the braid of my life, and the picture will be discernible. Until then, oh well, I'll usually find all the other exciting threads to prevent me from getting mired down in the routines of life. And when they will be allowed to throw the last sod, I don't know. I don't have time to think of dying. There's just too much that is exciting and rewarding to do before I get that far.
So your writing is more than just reflections.
All sorts of things.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of this and a
like
little bit of that.
revelations.
All sorts of things.
Where you suddenly realize that the importance of something.
I call them musings.
Musings. Yeah, that's exactly right. Musings and revelations, where you really think about something very carefully and come up with some kind of an answer, but not always.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So these snippets range from young to now, and they cover there's like 5 snippets?
Yeah. Well, there are 3 little ones that make the one big one.
Ah, okay.
And then there's the original one.
Yep.
But what I'm doing now is much more important.
Yeah,
because
very different. Talk to me about your present project.
my present project is historical fiction.
Yeah.
Requires an enormous amount of research. And I've got as far as, well, into the over 500 pages.
Wow. You know, I do that. Hauntings of the Hudson River Valley, and Sybil Luddington. It's really historical
Yes,
nonfiction.
right.
And the whole idea is research. And
Yes,
you're right.
yes,
Research can
yes.
be, oh my God, overwhelming
Yeah,
sometimes.
yes. The problem with my thing is that I have to decide what to include and what not to include.
Right. Right.
The original story starts in the 1300s, early 1300s, before Columbus arrives. Then Columbus arrives and you get all the changes that he produces or that happen after him. And then the real story begins in 1757 and in theory will end around 2000.
Now, what's interesting to me is that this history that you're writing is American history.
Well, no, it's mondial.
Oh.
It is all over the world.
Oh, okay.
It is history from...
It ends up being American, but starts or no?
It's American, it is English, it will be history seen, the events of history as seen from different countries' points of view.
And the real kicker is it's seen through the eyes of
Furniture.
furniture. The main characters, the narrators, pieces of furniture. And these pieces of furniture come from the same tree,
Yes.
and it's really what they've seen in their lifetime.
All their life.
which is-
It is the autobiography of a banquet table. And all the other furniture made from the same tree. And because they're made
very
from the
different, Sonia.
because they're made from the same tree, they can talk to each other through walls and across oceans. And so you see history, you see the different events of history from different points of view at the same time.
Yeah, and it's interesting because humans are limited to about 100 years.
Yes.
But furniture,
Well, when it starts as a seed in the forest in the 1300s.
wow, from
it's
1300s to now.
Yes. And, but it's seen, most history books are written from one country's point of view.
Right.
You don't see, yeah,
Furniture expands.
yeah,
So that's why it's
yeah,
very interesting.
Different pieces of furniture in different countries, and they all talk to each other about what their family is saying. And
So you widen the boundaries by
yes,
doing it
yes,
through
yes,
furniture instead of people.
yes, and also if it's just one instrument, that can go to different places, but it's still only one instrument. This, you've got them all at the same time talking, for instance, during the war, what's happening to their families in the different countries. So you see
Many different viewpoints.
different perspectives.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. And there's a storyline.
Oh, well, yes, it's the family, the tree storyline,
Yeah.
and the family. There is one family that is mostly there all the time, but there are comings and goings, and I've written the first book, but hopefully there will be 5 more if I live long enough.
Wow. So there's a whole series.
Yes, and I need an agent.
Ah, there you go. You hear that?
Please,
All you agents out there.
I need an agent, and the writing's not bad. The writing's reasonably good.
Yeah. Oh, the writing is very good. I get the opportunity of hearing it each week
Right.
at the Hopeback Writers Group, and I get to really get a sense of what you're doing, and so do the other writers.
Right.
The other writers have some very good comments.
Yes.
I will be honest with you. I was skeptical. I said, you serious? The main character is furniture? But I get it. It took a
Talking.
little while, but I get it. Talking
Talking
furniture.
furniture.
Yeah.
talking
that's
furniture.
a little weird. weird. But
it's not a children's book.
no, it's not a choice.
High school kids, yes. But what I want to do, the reason for it, is that I want to get people, kids and adults, interested in the fact that history is actually his story. It's about people.
Yeah.
History should be about people,
Yeah.
not wars and blood.
And you needed a vehicle to span a large period,
Right.
which you have.
Right.
The research must have been overwhelming, to say the least.
The research is really significant.
Yeah, because you have to cover wars, and I mean, what are some of the wars you cover?
Well, so far, not too much, because I've only got to 1768.
Oh, okay.
But I will be going. The next book will be going into the Revolution, and then there will be other revolutions, and pieces of furniture will die in the Revolution when they're thrown on the fire.
Oh, yeah. Wow,
so
yeah.
there have to be a lot of pieces of furniture so that there are plenty to survive.
Yeah. I mean, this must have been a big tree. What kind of tree was it?
Mahogany.
Oh, mahogany.
A king
I
of
love
the
mahogany.
forest. It was a big mahogany tree.
Wow.
And there is a certain amount of poet's license.
Yeah. You're a writer. You could do that.
Yeah. And most of the history is exactly right. But there are one or two things that I've stretched a tiny bit.
Yeah. You're loud. So you're seeing history through this tree as furniture.
Right.
Predominantly the table, though, right?
Well, the table is the narrator.
Okay.
And the rest of the furniture, all the pieces of furniture have names.
Oh,
The big secretary,
Weird.
you know the beautiful big mahogany secretary. That's Zeus.
juice.
He's king of Olympus.
Oh my God.
The big chest on chest in the dining room, that is Ramses. They're both a pain in the butt.
Back from the Bible.
They are big and serious, but the Pembroke table in the window is Isabella May. They all have sort of appropriate kind of names, and they have voices similar, that go with their names.
So how far are we into this, Sonia?
Well, I've done the first book.
Okay.
I know where the second book's going.
Now, will the first book be published soon?
Well, I'm hoping I'll get an agent and
Yeah,
I'll
that
get
would be
a
a good
publisher
thing.
and
Get it out there.
get it off my desk for
Is
crying out loud.
self-publishing a consideration?
I think it's too big a project.
Yeah.
It's going to be 6 volumes
Whoa.
if I live long enough.
Yeah, that's.
That's a big project to self-publish, and it needs
Some
proper
good editing
publicity.
and-
It needs good publicity, good merchandising.
Yeah.
I can't do that and be writing.
Yeah. Oh,
You
tell
know,
me about it. That's the most difficult part of self-publishing. that
Exactly.
You have to do all these jobs that
Right.
publishers
Right.
traditionally do.
These are
Not
little.
easy.
These are little, and yes, I can self-publish them. But the big one needs
Yeah.
a big company behind it.
Yeah. So how far away are you from the second book?
Well, once I get the first one off my desk, I can start on.
Start on that one.
I know a lot of the things that will be in the second one. That should be reasonably easy to do, but and I know how it's going to end. The 6th,
How much time do you spend writing each day?
very little.
Uh-oh.
Very little.
All writers differ. I mean,
Yes.
some
No,
writers
I
write
would
4 or
like.
5 hours a day.
I would love to, but I don't have
Yeah.
time.
I know, you're too busy canning and doing all those vegetables.
Yeah. And too many other things to do.
Yeah, no, I do
know.
hear you. Well, Sonia, it was wonderful sharing with you.
This is fabulous.
Any special messages, words, last minute, a piece that you might want to share with us?
Where is it? All I have to do is find it. Wood smoke?
Ah, wood smoke. Okay, yeah, I have heard this.
That's a
and
little,
I love it, so
That's a little one.
lay it on us.
Okay. Wood smoke. Driving through cold darkness, black cloud overtakes starry sky. Smell of wood smoke. Memories of childhood overwhelm. Evenings round wood fire, comfortable, secure. Parents still young, alive. Life evolves. Children, now parents, struggle to provide family memories in a tumultuous world.
Beautiful. Tumultuous world is right, and it gets more and more tumultuous all the time.
Oh, yes.
Well, Sonia, thank you for sharing wood smoke. Thank you for sharing your snippets. Thank you for being here with us. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you here.
And thank you so much.
Ah, my pleasure indeed. And thank you for tuning in to
Yes, sir.
One-on-One with Vin Dacquino and Sonia Hicks Lynch. Welcome, and thank you. All right, well, yes, thank you. That's good. It was a great
Thank you.
show.
Thank you.
Good, a lot of good things.
Yes. Yes.
So, you did it again, Amanda. Amanda.
Oh, yes. Was that okay?